Hello everyone, it's time for one of my weekly draft videos. There's one posted every Monday and Thursday. I don't usually miss a day. We're doing more Iconic Masters. This is the last Iconic Masters draft I'll do. Hopefully it goes better than my second to last one. If you saw that one last week, we drafted what I felt like was a good blue-red, Spells Matter deck, but we got completely crushed. It was kind of disheartening because my other drafts have gone relatively well. So I'll see you guys when this draft fires. All right. Well, this is an interesting pack. We have Lotus Cobra, which I think is great. I mean, it ramps you and it fixes, which is nice. And it's just a 2-mana 2/1. We also have Indulgent Tormentor, though, which is a kind of uncommon that feels like it should be a rare. It may be a downshifted rare, actually. I can't remember what its rarity was last time, but it's just nuts. I mean, it's a 5-mana 5/3, and then it has a whole other line of text. I mean, a 5-mana 5/3 with flying would already be like playable and first pickable in a lot of packs. Probably not over Lotus Cobra. But a 5-mana 5/3 with the additional line of text this has is insane. So it's what we're going to take, I think. Pillar of Flame is another card sort of worth looking at, but it's really between the Cobra and the Tormentor. But we're going to take the Tormentor. I think it's just more powerful. Although, the Cobra giving you the ability to like right off the bat to start thinking, well, I can take cards of any color is nice. Admittedly, I've drafted one in this format once before and it was pretty good, but I think I'm happy with the Tormentor. But yeah, this will be the last of these. This won't be on Magic Online anymore by the end of this week. This will be going up on Thursday, and I think that the Friday morning after that is when it goes away. Okay, Swords to Plowshares. Must have been a really good rare in this pack. There are several that you would take over Swords, but not a lot. So I think I'm going to take the Swords. It's one of the best cards in the format. It's a great removal spell. Mind Stone, kind of worth looking at, but we're going to take the Swords. Noxious Dragon, also not bad, but this is still better. It's a great removal spell. So Black-White is a life gain deck if things go well. So that may be what we end up doing. It could also be a +1/+1 counter deck, sort of sneakily. It doesn't have a gold uncommon that sort of makes that work, but it has creatures with Outlast and what's the other one? The black Unleash in black. So there's a little bit of synergy that can happen, but it's mostly a life gain deck. Overall, I thought this format has been a lot of fun. It's been a nice breath of fresh air. I think maybe to keep things interesting on my next limited video, I might actually just do Sealed with not Iconic Masters, but with Ixalan, because I haven't actually recorded one yet. Rift Bolt's pretty good. Claustrophobia is pretty good. Heat Ray's pretty good. The white cards here aren't that good, and the black ones aren't either, obviously. So there's a lot of, Wall of Roots is good too. This is a strong pack. So I think I'm going to err on the side of removal. I think I'm going to take Rift Bolt. Yeah. Sure. So we've got 3 different colors right now. Obviously, that's not ideal. Red-White is sort of an aggro deck that likes spells. Okay, well, there's an Abzan Falconer, which is an incredibly strong card in a +1/+1 counter deck. I think it's just the best card in this pack. Frostlinks and Mana Leak are fine, and Horizon Canopy can be too. But even if we don't end up in a +1/+1 counter deck, on its own, this card is really good. It's not like some payoffs that aren't. It's just good on its own. So we'll take it. See, well, here's Merrick Nightblade. So this is how you can end up in a like black-white +1/+1 counter deck. And I think we probably take the Nightblade. We really want to end up in black with Indulgent Tormentor anyway. We've already got one +1/+1 counter synergy, and here's another one. Yeah. The white cards here aren't anything special, and the black one's better. The red card in it isn't special either. So yeah, we'll take Merrick Nightblade. So Thrill-Kill Assassin, that has +1/+1 counters. Crowned Ceratok if we end up being able to splash 3 colors. So do we want Thrill-Kill Assassin or Angel of Mercy? Basically is what we're looking at. I think we probably want the Assassin. I like this card because unlike a lot of the Unleashed cards, which are basically only good if you're an aggro deck, this one's actually good if you don't end up in one, because you can just play it as a 2-mana 1/2 that can trade with anything, which isn't what the other ones can say. They don't have Death Touch. So yeah, we'll take the assassin. So red, huh? There's a lot of red cards here, and Hammerhand is quite good in an aggressive deck. I could take like Dragon Tempest and see if we can end up in dragons, but that doesn't seem like a great plan. Dragons do look open though, with both Dragon Lord Servant, and Dragon Tempest left. We would end up not playing white if that's what we did. What the hell? Let's take a payoff card and see if dragons are open enough. Okay. Oh, there's Necropotence, huh? I mean, it's such a powerful card in Constructed, and it's pretty good in Limited. But it's hard to cast, and the fact that it makes you skip your draw step means you have to pay 2 life a turn to draw as an additional card, or 1 life a turn just to draw your usual card. So it's actually not like incredible in Limited. It is good, but I think I'm going to take another Thrill Kill Assassin here. Yeah. We are. Okay, Pillar of Flame. Another card that is red and quite good. It's definitely better than Rakdos Drake, but we may just take the Drake anyway. Pillar, I mean, it is a good removal spell. We have 2 red cards. We only have 2 white cards, too, so white may not even be open enough. But what we know is that we're probably playing black, so I guess we should take the black card. Because black's plenty open. Okay, so yeah, dragons continue to look pretty open. These cards are fine, but I think I'm going to take another dragon payoff and see if dragons can actually happen. Okay, well, there are some solid white cards here. These are both playable. Guard Duty's fine. It's better if you're in a control deck, though. Which of these white cards do I want? I'll take the Flyer, I think. Dragon Bell Monk's fine, but ooh. Okay, maybe white's plenty open if Stalwart Avon's coming all the way back, huh? Take another dragon payoff. I mean, I'm not going to play Tormenting Voice. It's worth playing. We'll take a Duress for the sideboard. It is worth playing. Hammerhand came all the way back. Well, I don't even remember what card I was talking about. I was so distracted. Ooh, another Indulgent Tormentor. I think I'm going to indulge myself. Because that card's nuts. Reef Soul is obviously really good. Knight of Soul's Betrayal could be kind of fun. None of our creatures die to it right now. But I think the Tormentor is just the best card here. This card is just so strong. If we have 2 of those at the top of our curve, I'm going to feel pretty great. I wouldn't mind like Reeve Soul or even Infantry Veteran coming back. What? Do we want 3 Indulgent Tormentors? I think we probably do. There is a Kolaghan Monument, which can help us splash, and it has some dragon things going on. Not sure we're a dragon deck, but just saying. So there's a Blinding Mage here too, which is a very good card, but I think we just take another Tormentor. I mean, he does die to a lot of things. I mean, he can't, he has to be balanced somewhat. He's ridiculous. But, he dies to a lot of things, but if he doesn't get killed, he just wins you the game, basically. And he's an uncommon, and we have 3 of them. So the Carnarium could help us splash, like Rift Bolt, if we really wanted to. We could also just take a Dread Reveler, though. We don't have a ton of +1/+1 counter payoffs. That's kind of a problem when you try to build the black-white version of this. But, we do have a Falconer and a Merrick Nightblade. So Dread Reveler seems fine. Survival Cache would be good if we were a normal black-white deck that actually gained life. But I don't think we are. Would I rather have the Carnarium or a Dread Reveler? I feel like I can get more cards. Dead Reveler. I always call it Dread Reveler. I think I'm going to take the bounce land and see what happens. Rakdos Drake. Undercity Troll is nice, but not in our colors. Yeah, I think we take another Rakdos Drake here. The white cards here aren't really what we're looking for. There's a Rift Bolt. There's a Mind Stone. I don't know. Do we just take a Mind Stone? We probably just take a Mind Stone. Like, we already have 1 Rift Bolt, and we're not sure we're splashing it. We could still end up cutting white, admittedly, but seeming less and less likely. I think I'm going to take a Mind Stone. Getting Indulgent Tormentors out faster seems pretty good. Well, there's the land in our colors, and I think we just take that over these other things. These lands are just so much better than they look, and we're going to take one. They grant you card advantage, basically. You've probably heard me say that if you've watched other videos of mine about this format or playing this format, but they're just quite good. Palladium Mirror. Well, anything that lets me play these Tormentors earlier seems like a solid choice, doesn't it? I mean, there's a decent 2-drop here, and I like Infantry Veteran, but we're going to take another little ramp spell here. Ramp creature, I guess, in this case. So we probably won't play this one unless we're splashing something red. And Riftbolt doesn't seem terrible to splash. If we're desperate for removal, we might do it. Funny thing about right now with our Abzan Falconer is that a lot of our cards already have flying, and then we have 2 with Death Touch already. So Merrick Nightblade's not going to do what you want it to do all the time. Probably just Rot Feast your Maggot. I think it's a solid card. It might get cut since we're already running 3 Indulgent Tormentors. Festering Newt's fine too, but I think we take the Maggot here. It's a large Maggot. Okay, so probably Infantry Veteran over Dragon Bell Monk or Pentarch Ward. Just makes attacks so much more difficult for the opponent to deal with. Okay, Child of Night. I think we need some low drops, so I think I'm going to take it over Angel of Mercy. Yeah. Now we take a Dead Reveler. Guided Strike. Sure, that might make the cut. It is nice with Death Touch. I'll take another Duress for my sideboard, I think. I don't really want Eternal Thirst. Pentarch Ward, I don't mind having. It may even make the cut. It's definitely better in a deck with, like, Prowess. So I think I'll start it over here. But white really has not seemed super open. I keep saying that. But the cards we have in white are quite good, mostly. Like Swords to Plowshares. Well, Swords to Plowshares, Abzan Falconer, and Stalwart Aven are all things I'm pretty happy to have. If we were the real life gain deck, that would be worth taking, but we're not really. The black and white cards in this pack are not good. This is not a very good trick. This is an okay trick. And this is just like a mediocre 1-drop. So, yeah. Do we just take another land? We might. I guess if we take one, it'll be this one. Sustainer of the Realm is fine, but I think I'm going to take another land and open us up to splashing in this pack early. So we can splash red and we can splash blue pretty easily already. We could also switch to a deck that splashes white for like Swords to Plowshares if we wanted. I'm going to put him over here. Okay. Doomblade, obviously, is what we take here. Yeah. It's a great card. It's first pickable. This must be another pack where there was an insane rare. Hey, there's Vizkopa Guildmage. We're not actually a life gain deck, as I've mentioned, but it can sort of do... It's sort of a build-your-own life gain deck. It's just a 2-mana 2/2 with a ton of upside, so I think we take it over, like, a Star Compass, which is fine. That's really the only other card I would think. Butcher's Glee's not bad, but we're going to take Vizkopa Guildmage here. Well, Balaged Scorpion, Benevolent Ancestor, Emerge Unscathed. I don't really like any of you. This can kill a bunch of defenders in the format, so it's a little better than it looks. There's a lot of creatures it kills. It kills 2 creatures in this pack. I don't like this pack at all. Can I just have a redo? I guess I'll take this as a sideboard card. I don't really like the Ancestor. Emerge Unscathed is fine, but definitely better in a Prowess deck. Scorpion might not make the cut, but probably just take Mannequin here. More ways to ramp into these guys, the better. As I've said, they are going to be a little worse in the late game. You know, we could take Infantry Veteran, but I think we take another mana dude. Man, another Undercity Troll. But I think we take Enoch Bondkin. We could also think about splashing green for Hunt the Week, but that's, of course, not a color we can splash. I think we just take the Bondkin. It's another +1/+1 counter payoff, and we have enough +1/+1 counters to want that. Another Rakdos Drake, or... Yeah, no, it's another Rakdos Drake. There's no or about it. Wow. Disenchant from my sideboard. This is basically just our deck, I think. I think we actually have to cut one thing, which is probably Bala Ged Scorpion. Take a Doomed Traveler. So in the end, we may not actually... I mean, do we want to try to splash Rift Bolt? I don't think we do. In the end, yeah, this is... You know, if this is where the deck ended, I wouldn't be too upset about it. We do have this that gains us life, too, for our Guild Mage, but that's about it. We didn't get... the War Monk guy who gives lifelink player +1/+1 counter creatures. That would have been nice. So we have like 3 +1/+1 counter payoffs, which is plenty. But a lot of our deck is just going to be getting this guy into play. Crazy thing about him is this, you know, you don't even end up having to attack with it necessarily, and it can help you win. Because it just sits there and makes your opponent make that choice every turn. I already have one Guided Strike main board, and that's probably all I want. But so I'm going to take a Balustrade Spy. Another Sustainer could make the cut. It's definitely sideboardable. So is Emerge Unscathed. So we need to cut one card. Would we rather have another Sustainer of the Realm or this trick, basically? That's what I'm looking at. Foil Guided Strike. Well, we should run that one if we're going to run one. That's obviously how it works. Okay. Excuse me. Gotta cut something. It could just be Guided Strike. I mean, it is a good trick. I think it's either Guided Strike or one of our Sustainers of the Realm. I mean, we have 20 creatures, so tricks are going to be pretty good. I mean, we have 19 now, obviously, but I think a trick like Guided Strike is nice. I mean, we have some good removal, too. Doomblade and Swords to Plowshares, mostly. Those are obviously, like, premium removal. So that's nice. So, and plus the removals, plus the combat trick will basically be removals as well. So we're going to sort by color. Obviously, we have more black than white. Yeah, that's a little extreme, as it often is. That's a little extreme too, actually. I think that's probably better because we have the Basilica. Yeah, we don't really want to go 8/8. We have too many black cards to do that. All right, well, we built a weird black-white +1/+1 counter deck with a tiny, tiny life gain sub-theme, but mostly this is just an Indulgent Tormentor deck. So see you guys in the first match. All right, we're going into the first match of an Iconic Masters draft. The last one I will be recording. And we would like to play first. I think this hand's probably a keep. It is a little, you know, it can be a little awkward with Orzhov Basilica because I would rather just be able to play my Infantry Veteran on turn 1, but I think it's fine. I did just find out Magic Online announced that next week Vintage Masters will be on Magic Online for about, I think it's on for basically a week. So I'll be recording some of that probably. I posted a poll on my Twitter to see if people would rather see me do more Ixalan or Vintage Masters. I think most people are going to want me to do Vintage Masters, but it won't be out by Monday of next week. And so Monday of next week, okay, Keldon Halberdier. Monday of next week will be an Ixalan draft, and then after that I will do a couple Vintage Masters drafts, and then probably a little bit of Ixalan before the new set comes out, Rivals of Ixalan. Right, we will end our turn. So our opponent, what is this? Spend 4? Yeah. So that's going to come in and be kind of scary in a later part of the game. We do have a decent amount of removal. Opponent starting similar to us, except they actually did something with their 1 mana, so I'm a little jealous. What do I do? Do I just play the Dread Reveler? Dead Reveler? I can never say its name right. I mean, the Drake's more likely to get in for damage. I guess I'm going to start the clock with the Drake. And the next turn I can play a Reveler and an Infantry Veteran. So yeah, we're gonna unleash and just start swinging in the sky, hopefully. Okay, well, they're doing basically the same thing. Okay, Doomblade's nice to see. We will attack in the air. Is it better to just play another Rakdos Drake? It might be. Although playing... My Dead Reveler can attack pretty well through that if I unleash it. But I think just upping the damage in the sky is probably a good call. So yeah, we're just going to go Rakdos Drake. We will unleash it. And we're also going to play Infantry Veteran. We have basically our 2 best removal spells. So that's nice. That comes out next turn, yeah. So we can Doomblade it or whatever. Well, Doomblade won't work on that. Swords will. So I think I'm going to use the swords here. You know, maybe doing that wasn't great. I just don't really want to end up having to take combat damage from it, and I undoubtedly will. So I'm going to play... Because what I could have done is played the Bondkin, made these head first strike, and then he wouldn't have been able to block either of them because I could have tapped the Veteran, but then it would have hit me and bounced something and done all of it, all that silly stuff. Do I get to choose? Oh, I do get to choose. I probably should have just let it hit me. So we're going to play the Bondkin here. And leave mana up for Doomblade. We will attack with all of these. So the Halberdier is going to come down now. So I think my plan is probably to Doomblade it. I guess we'll see. Okay, repeal. So Doomblading here is going to help me a lot in the race. That's for sure. So I think that is what I'm going to do. Question is, which do I Doomblade? I think the Halberdier. We take 3. Okay, Borderland Marauder. Ooh, there he is. That's going to be nice. Does mean we're going to take like 6 next turn, but I think it's worth it. It'll make our clock in the air even faster and make our opponent make an annoying decision. So we're going to attack with both of these. The question is, do I pump? And, you know, I think I do. Drops our opponent to 10. That means we have lethal next turn in the air if he can't kill our Indulgent Tormentor. Which, you know, there's every possibility that he can. Even if he does, we're still in okay shape. I mean, We're not just like dead this turn. We go to 8 and then we attack in the air, play a couple blockers probably, and then just keep trying to attack in the air. Yeah. We do have an absurd 3 of this guy, which is pretty nice. Yeah, we take 6 here. Go to 8. He's got to play a flyer or kill my Tormentor or gain some life. I mean, there's options, you know. They do play a flyer. Awesome. The worst possible one to play for me. Great. So he can just sacrifice that on his upkeep and steal my on my upkeep and steal my Indulgent Tormentor now. So that's a thing. Kaiga. Why did it have to be Kaiga? I've never got to draft one of these guys, which is sad because I love that Kamigawa cycle of Legendary Dragons, and I never even saw one, I don't think. I didn't draft this format a ton, probably like 8 times total. So, interesting. So he can block this and then steal one of my creatures. But even that isn't like a huge deal. Given how much damage we can get in for. I mean, I guess it's a huge deal actually, because this can hit it. We'll have to make the decision that our opponent just made. Yeah. God, freaking Kaiga. I think because we have the Tormentor, maybe what we do here is just hang back and keep letting that trigger make our opponent make a decision. Yeah, I think that's my plan. And try to go wide enough. If we go wide enough, it doesn't matter. So that's not a bad plan. Right now, we're not wide enough, but we are now, especially, yeah. Kaiga. So this way, like if they decide to attack me, I can block now, and it's still a 2-for-1, but it's not quite as devastating. I mean, I might not even block. I probably wouldn't actually. We'll see what happens. I mean, if he attacks, that would mean he's dead, basically. So, okay, Tormenting Voice. So right now, if we attack, well, they're about to play something else. Star Compass. Okay, you have 1 blocker, man. I think you're dead. Your other guy can't even block. I attack. I guess you're at 10, so I get in for 2, 4, 7, 2, 4, 7. Yeah, I have lethal. This is assuming he doesn't have a bounce spell of some kind or another. But we're gonna take this. Oh, and guess what he can do is sacrifice. Oh no, yeah, sacrifice Kaiga to the Tormentor and steal the Tormentor. That's probably what he's gonna do, and then I'm dead in the air. Yeah, that's what's about to happen. Because then we can only attack 4, 3, 5, 7. No, yeah, we won't have lethal. Not quite. Crap. Yeah. We need to draw one of our other Indulgent Tormentors or a removal spell. That doesn't hurt. Certainly. Gaining life will go a long way here towards helping us not die. All right, so These guys are all like unblockable basically too for the Tormentor, so that's pretty sweet. That is a very good draw for us. It's not a removal spell or another Tormentor, but it's a pretty good draw. So, yeah. Yeah, that's all we do. And we're gonna pump this power-wise and gain 4 life off of it with the lifelink. Okay, so I'm gonna give him lifelink. Taking us to 9 is a big deal. We probably just sacrifice our infantry veteran here, although maybe not because it does enable our attacks. It makes it so these guys can attack. And the other, if they weren't there, I guess I'm just going to lose one of my Rakdos Drakes. So we can also just combo this next turn. As long as we do 2 damage with something, we can gain 2 life and kill our opponent. We are going to have to block here, probably. Yeah, I think we do have to block. And I think I'd rather do it with the... Well, he doesn't have any blockers now, so I guess I want to hold on to the Guild Mage, actually. I'm just going to block this. So all I have to do is keep this in play and get to do 2 damage with a creature that I have given lifelink and our opponent's dead. And that's, you know, assuming, well, they're doing something. Probably am not going to like it. So do they just have Fireball for the win? I've been killed by Fireball a couple times in this format. All right, we got there. That was a tough one because of Kaika. Drawing Vizkopa Guild Mage is the only thing that saved us. That is for sure. I don't know if we had another card we could draw there. I guess like Guided Strike would have been pretty good. But we'd already used our 2 best removal spells. We don't really even have other removal. So, yeah. I guess Abzan Falconer would have been pretty good, too. Duress. No, I don't think so. Disenchant. Saw Star Compass, but I don't feel like that's enough of a reason to bring it in. I think we just leave it as is. Good news is Swords to Plowshares on Kaiga is pretty good because we can exile it and not have to deal with that stupid death trigger. Okay, well, we don't have any 2-drops, but I still think this hand's okay. It's definitely not a fast one, but our opponent's deck... Although, I guess we did sort of see it could be fast. It just wasn't in the last game. Like, they could play a turn 2 Borderland Marauder. And that wouldn't be too good for us. So what am I going to play first? Probably, like, Dead Reveler, then Abzan Falconer, and then this guy will have flying. I would play the Palladiumer if I draw my Demon. But I think Dead Reveler into Abzan Falconer is pretty good, too. Kiln Fiend. Yeah, that's also pretty scary on turn 2 when we have no turn 2 play of our own. So let's pass the turn and be scared. It also makes it harder to just play Dead Reveler as something that can't block. Because my opponent can just... Luckily, that doesn't actually pump Kiln Fiend. He doesn't have Prowess. He's a card that existed before Prowess. Now they have all of those effects, or most of them anyway, saying whenever you cast a non-creature spell. But not him, so... That is the good news for us. So now, do you think I should play Dead Reveler? Just and unleash it and go to town? Try to just win this game in the air? Yeah, I think I'm going to try. It is a scary thing to race, but we're going to do it. Opponent's already only 1 mana away from Kaiga, so that's not a lot of fun for us. Okay. Neither is that. We are in for a lot of damage. This race is going to be a much harder one to win unless we draw one of our removal spells. Or our demon. The demon would definitely help. First Strike, man. It's a pain. This card can be so bad in this format, like with a Prodigal Pyromancer, can just like end it for very little, you know, you don't get really anything out of it. But we don't have that going on. Ooh, good. Rift Bolt. Yeah, that's not good. We're going to take 8 to the face, and we just lost our Falconer, so it's not so good. Not good. Darn it, I was hoping they weren't going to do anything else. I kind of want to unleash my guy now. Ooh, that's what we want. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to play Palladium Merc, because at least it can trade with Kiln Fiend. And I'm going to attack, because this can't block anyway, so... But yeah, if our opponent just has like a instant or sorcery here that kills my Palladium Merc, they just win instantly, basically. So we again just saw the Star Compass. I don't think that's enough of a reason to bring in Disenchant still. Could be wrong, but... Kaiga. If they play Kaiga here, we're basically screwed. Even if we top deck Path to Exile, like the rest of this board is so scary, it like doesn't matter that we can kill Kaiga. Darksteel Axe. That's nice to put on your Halberdier. You're going to put it there, though. Interesting. I mean, I definitely block Kiln Fiend here. Take 7 and go to 3 and, like, pray. You know, there's not much else we can do. If you're just attacking with both, then we just take 7. Yeah. We just take 7. Okay. Not a land. Oh, good. That's a good not a land. So we can play... Damn it, we can't play both of them. Well, that still means we have another turn, hopefully. You know, I probably should have played the Merrick Nightblade just so if he has some shenanigans here, his Kiln Fiend still dies. But yeah, he's just going to take 3. But yeah, we are going to play the Nightblade. It blocks better than the Rakdos Drake can. And I could play the Drake and tap Palladiumer. Is it worth it just to go a little wider? But I mean, this can't block anything effectively. I mean, I guess it can chump here. I guess maybe that is better. It gives me more of a board presence that my opponent has to try to get through. Yeah, let's do it. We are not unleashing. The reason it's okay is because it can at least block Dragonlord Servant or Kiln Fiend, and then if my opponent doesn't have a spell, we're in good shape. If they have a spell, we're just dead. But if all they're doing is moving that, I don't feel too bad. I mean, I mean, the blocks here are ugly. I just have to sacrifice creatures, basically. Ooh. Yeah, now they're really ugly, actually, because I have to block these two. All right. And then if he has any instant or sorcery, we're just dead. So I'm sure he does. He can like repeal something. No? Okay. Nope, here it goes. Ready to concede. Yeah, there it is. All right. Well, still don't think I bring in Disenchant. But is a card like Rotfeaster Maggot gonna be okay? Power 1 or less. Does kill Kiln Fiends. Maybe we do want Duress. Our opponent does seem to have a decent number of non-creature spells. And information against a deck like this with Kiln Fiend is not a bad thing to have. I can just cut maybe Mannequin. Yeah, I think that's it. Run 1 Duress and see if we can get rid of some stuff. Okay, we would like to play first. We would like to keep this hand, though we would kind of prefer that it had white mana, but hey. We do have Indulgent Tormentor. So, it's interesting. Do I play Thrillkill Assassin as a 2/3 attacker with Death Touch? I think I probably do, since I'm on the play. They're going to suspend Halberdier. Yeah. Our deck is so bad against that card just because we have like no way of interacting with it. And if we can ever play Enoch Bondkin, then we're going to be in really good shape. We really want to be able to play this, though. That's the dream here. Yeah, Kiln Fiend is kind of gross against a deck full of unleashed creatures. Okay. We will play a Rakdos Drake. We're just racing here, basically. We want to draw... If I could go plains here, I think we would be in great shape. Gives me the chance to potentially Guided Strike. You know, obviously it'll only work blocking here, but when it gets in for at least one... Ooh, that's bad news for this, unless I draw a Guided Strike. I mean, plains for Guided Strike. All right, well, drawing a swamp could be worse. We will attack. I want to get multiple Indulgent Tormentors in play. Is that too much to ask? All right, so we're going to play a Rakdos Drake. And we are going to unleash it. Halberdier comes down next turn. Yeah, we could really use white mana. Giving all our guys first strike would make... Oh, never mind, because they can't block. But still, white mana would be good. Black, I would take black mana at this point too, obviously, just because playing Indulgent Tormentor seems like a pretty good deal. As it often is. So we take 4. So next turn we're going to take like 8 at least. Okay. God dang it. Well, I think we lose now, basically, because the Halberdier comes down. He attacks for at least 9. We can only attack for 6 at a time, and we can't do anything with the cards in our hand. So playing the Tormentor there would have been great. Even just being able to play one of these random cards would have been good, but it's not happening. So, and if my opponent just has like a spell here, we're in a lot of trouble. Well, Darksteel Axe is pretty bad news. Okay, so 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we go to 4 here. That is not good with a board full of creatures you can't block, if you didn't know. Yeah, we're just dead. We couldn't race, There's our white mana, a little too late. We just can't race. When all we do is play Unleash creatures and never really play anything else. So we're just dead. There's no point in trying not to be dead, because we can play one creature who can block, but we're at 5. And Prodigal Pyromancer can be, hit us. So we lose, and we drop to a lowly 7 and 8. Hopefully we can win our last 2, though, and finish above 500. Alright, so I managed to not actually ever click start recording for my second match. Luckily, Magic Online records them for you, but it'll actually be a lot faster than usual. You might even prefer this over seeing it all in real time. But so I'm sort of just going to commentate over what's happening, as I'm not actually playing it now. I'm just looking at the replay. So we do want to go first. We have a pretty good hand here. We have a 1-drop, a 2-drop, and a 3-drop plus some removal. So we, of course, lead with Infantry Veteran. There's no reason not to. It's going to get in for 1 damage in most situations, and then later in the game, obviously, it has a lot of utility. So here I was faced with a choice of whether or not I play Thrillkill Assassin Unleashed. Of course, in our last match, we were sort of punished by playing all of our Unleashed creatures and not being able to race our opponent. But I reasoned that because of Infantry Veteran and Palladiumer, I actually have creatures who can block instead of all Unleashed creatures. So I decide, well, first I'm going to attack, but I ended up deciding, as you'll see in the post-combat main phase, that to play Thrillkill Assassin as a 2/3 and just try to keep getting the damage in there. So that's what we do. We play our Thrillkill Assassin. We give it the counter. Opponent plays a Swamp and then does nothing, which is a good sign for us. Drawing Sustainer of the Realm there is solid. That means we're going to have a straight-up curve out, even though none of our creatures are exactly incredible. That's what we're going to have happen. So we attack here for 3. And then we just play our Palladiumer. It also means that if I draw one of my 3 demons on my next turn, I can just play it when I wouldn't be able to if I didn't have the Myr. Opponent plays a 3rd land and does nothing, and this makes me realize my opponent probably has counter magic. I go to combat to see if maybe something else is going on. I attack with everybody. And my opponent still does nothing, and, blue-black has a lot of counter, it's probably the best deck with counter magic in this format, but I want to find out if that's what they have. And losing Sustainer of the Realms isn't a big deal, right? And they do have it. They dissolve our Sustainer. And that kind of sucks, but opponent, we know now that we can, sometimes when my opponent has mana untapped, he's playing around counter magic. He plays his own Thrillkill Assassin Unleashed. I draw a Rakdos Drake, and I'm like, well, that means I can just play another threat that can get in the air. So I decided to just attack here with my Myr and my Thrillkill Assassin, and just the plan is to pump whichever one he doesn't block to get in for 3. He blocks that. I tap my Infantry Veteran. I pump Palladiumer. Opponent has no response, and they drop to 8. And I play Rakdos Drake, and I unleash him You know, when your opponent's at such low life, playing an evasive threat is like a big deal. Opponent, again, does nothing. We draw Dead Reveler. I decide to attack. I was worried, I recall being worried about Illusory Ambusher and then realizing my opponent only had 4 mana. So in the end, I just attack with both. Illusory Ambusher costs 5. We attack with both. We pump. I decided here, if you're curious, to pump the Palladiumer because I was like, he's probably going to bounce whichever one. If he has Repeal, he's going to bounce whichever one I pump. And I'd rather they pump the Myr at this point. I mean, bounce the Myr at this point. But they don't do anything. And then I think, you know, I'm trying to decide if my opponent has some big board sweeper or mass bounce effect. And so I just decide not to play Dead Reveler, reasoning that I can use Swords to Plowshares to kill whatever creature is a problem. And my opponent just scoops at the end of my turn anyway. So that's how game 1 went. Now let's check out game 2. All right, so we're on to game 2 in the second match. We draw what is a pretty good hand. It's a little slower than our first one, but we have a bunch of threats. We have some ramp if we draw our big demon. I sided in Duress against this opponent because I figured they're a blue-black mill deck, and they've probably got cards. They're going to have targets for Duress a lot. And they cast Thought Scour, unfortunately, immediately hitting an Indulgent Tormentor we would have drawn. And we don't actually get to play him because of that. So we don't get to do anything with our second turn other than play an Orzhov Basilica. And I'm faced with a discard decision here. And I try to decide if I want to just lose a land. But in the end, I decide to just get rid of the Palladiumer. Like, I have enough mana already. I'm not really going to be ramping into anything. I don't have my Indulgent Tormentor. So I just get rid of the Myr and decide to hold on to a land instead. Which might not be the right choice as I'm talking about it now, because obviously the Myr produces mana too, but it's a fragile source of mana. So I know my opponent has counter magic, and so here, when I play what I play, I'm thinking, which do I want to get countered more? Rakdos Drake or Stalwart Haven? And in the end, I decide I would rather Rakdos Drake get countered. But it turns out my opponent doesn't counter it, and I just play a 2/3, which I'm perfectly fine with. The reason I'd rather have the Haven is because once it gets unleashed, it gets renowned rather, it is just a much larger creature, and it can actually block effectively too. Opponent plays a Thrillkill Assassin. They go the aggressive route this time though. And we draw a Mind Stone. I decide to attack with my Rakdos Drake. I mean, obviously it can't block, so why wouldn't I? So we get in for the 2. And then I play Mind Stone. And then I have the mana left over after playing Mind Stone to play Stalwart Haven. And unfortunately, my opponent's going to have a mana leak for it. There, I wasn't really trying to play around counter magic. I probably should have been. Can't pay 3, obviously, so Stalwart Haven goes away. And now, my opponent plays another Thrillkill Assassin and unleashes it, planning on just, killing us with these things, which, they could do. We draw our own Thrillkill Assassin, which is pretty nice. We decide to get rid of our Mind Stone first, though, and we also draw a Merrick Nightblade off of that. And here, I decide to just cast it to see if my opponent can do anything about it, except I think I'm probably going to attack first. Yeah, oh no. I decide to play Thrillkill Assassin first. Here I am playing around counter magic. But the nice thing here is, like, if they don't counter it, I have Guided Strike, and with Guided Strike, this can block and kill any of them and not die itself. So it's a 2-for-1 because it also draws me a card. So I decide to attack with Rakdos Drake. I leave mana up for Doomblade, Swords to Plowshares, and Guided Strike, whichever I need. I might need anyway. And I end my turn. Opponent plays Frostlinks, taps down our Thrillkill Assassin, so that plan of pumping it is gone. And then they play... they don't play anything, but they attack us for 4, dropping us to 14. So this is a race they're now going to win. We draw another land. We go to combat, and we attack with Rakdos Drake, dropping them to 14. And here's where we just have to sort of hope our opponent doesn't have counter magic, because we've got to put a creature in play here. If we can't, we're in danger of falling really far behind. This can at least block Frostlinks. So, plus it has all sorts of upside between giving things Death Touch and being able to get bigger itself if it needs to. So we play it, and it resolves, much to our happiness. The opponent attacks here with the 2 Thrillkill Assassins. And I consider blocking and using Guided Strike, but I decide not to do it in the end. My opponent has way too much mana up. Lots of bad things could happen there. So we get to untap. We draw Vizkopa Guildmage, which had been quite good for us so far in the draft. We attack with just our flyer, wanting to leave back our Death Touch creatures for Guided Strike. We play Vizkopa Guildmage. And we outlast Merrick Nightblade. That means he's now got Death Touch, and he's a much larger creature who can attack through any of these. Plus, I still have 2 blockers. I'm not in any direct danger of dying or anything. So the opponent attacks us with everything. And here's where we're going to try to gamble. And we block with our Thrill Kill Assassin on one of theirs, and we use Guided Strike. And if this doesn't work, we get massacred. But it does work. We get to kill their creature. We draw a card. They're down to 2 creatures. And suddenly we have a very powerful board that can swing pretty hard. It can gain us some life. We don't draw a creature here, but we have 2 removal spells. We're sort of cruising because we know we can kill anything they play. And we attack with everything but our Thrill Kill Assassin here. The opponent plays Illusory Ambusher, a card we've been worried about before. Luckily, we have both Doomblade and Swords to Plowshares to just make that not a problem. And we decide to just Doomblade the Illusory Ambusher. Obviously, we don't want it to kill one of our creatures and allow our opponent to draw multiple cards. That's what would have happened. So we get in for the damage. We also give lifelink to our Merrick Nightblade to make it even harder for our opponent to race us. Drops them down to 5. We still have our swords if they play something scary. If we tapped our mana better, we could have even left up mana for it, but it's not a huge deal. So opponent is flooding out, and they just decide to scoop. But so we managed to win our second match. We're going to try to win our third match, and I haven't actually played that one yet. I'm actually about to actually play that one, and hopefully I'll remember to hit the record button. But I'll see you guys in that match. All right, we're in the final match of our final Iconic Masters draft, and we're battling to have a record over 500. Or below it, basically. We would like to play first. God, this hand. If we draw a land, this hand is incredible. I think I'm going to keep it. The chances are so good that we draw a land, right? I mean, it can go really bad, but if we draw a land, we go turn 2 Thrill Kill Assassin, turn 3 Myr, turn 4 Indulgent Tormentor, and that's a pretty great start. So I think it's a reasonable keep if we don't draw land, which can happen, of course. But I mean, with every draw, there's about a 50, little less, like, I don't know, 47% chance we draw a land. And we get to draw cards twice before we get to the turn where we have to worry about Palladium Myr. So, we'll see. We have to decide here whether or not Thrill Kill Assassin is going to be aggressive or not. I think it kind of depends on if we hit the land right away. Well, that's interesting. I think now we actually just play Mind Stone, because we can go Palladium Myr, Indulgent Tormentor. Early Indulgent Tormentor is a nightmare to deal with, so it was an early Undercity Troll. But, it's whatever. So yeah, we're going to play Palladium Myr here into our turn. This is just going to get, Renowned, become a 3/3 that can regenerate forever, which is a nightmare for my Indulgent Tormentor. I do have Swords to Plowshares, should that be necessary later. Okay, Phantom Tiger, also kind of annoying, but still don't have any white mana, by the way, but we will play our Indulgent Tormentor here and end our turn. We're planning on just taking 6 to the face here, unfortunately, and we really hope our opponent doesn't have removal. Bad news is Phantom Tiger does not die to Death Touch damage or anything, and that's pretty bad news. So is that. So what's our opponent going to do here? Probably just lose 3 life, because they have a ton of life. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah, so we drew another land, which isn't really what I wanted to do here. So we could get rid of our Mind Stone, or we could just play Dead Reveler and Thrill Kill Assassin. The Assassin can at least block this stupid thing. Well, I think I am going to attack for 5 in the air here. And then I think I play Thrill Kill Assassin. We're not going to unleash it. And then also Dead Reveler, and we're not going to unleash that either. And we'll end our turn. So we're going to try to block the Baloth, and we're just going to take 6. I could block this just to make it small enough that one more block kills it, but that doesn't seem very good. White mana would be so good right now. You don't need me to tell you that, but... Ooh, and that's bad. I do have a Thrill Kill Assassin at least, but obviously Phantom Tiger can be nuts with that in play. So opponent probably just takes 3 again. It's an easy-ish choice at this point in the game for them. That is not what we wanted. Okay, we are going to get rid of our Mind Stone now. There it is. That makes a major difference in our lives. We are going to attack in the air. Drop our opponent to 8. And we're going to play another Thrill Kill Assassin who is not unleashed. And we'll end our turn. So the plan is to block Corpse Jack Menace and kill it, and then use Swords to Plowshares on one of these obnoxious things. Okay. He's not going to attack with anything that dies to either of those things. So, I'm going to declare a block on what? I think on this. Yeah, I think that's fine. And I'm just going to let that happen, actually. And then... No, we're just going to take the 3 here. Okay. Another Phantom Tiger. Yeah, that is not what we wanted to see. Crap. Now I feel like we have to Swords it, and we will. I can say with relative certainty he's going to let me draw a card there. I mean, not going to let me draw a card there. That's what I mean to say. But so our opponent is very low on life. We just have to keep our Indulgent Tormentor alive. And we can win in the air. So we're going to attack for 5. We can get 3 blockers in play, so that's what we're going to do. The good news is, even with just 2 blockers, we can survive because this can only hit us for 2. I guess I'll play the Bondkin. Doesn't make a huge world of difference which one we do. So opponent has to kill 2 blockers, or play a flying blocker of their own, or kill Indulgent Tormentor. Those things have to happen here. Alright, so we are going to block that, and we're also going to block this. Just to be safe, I should probably also just block that. Unfortunately. Alright. Now what happens? Oh. That's annoying. The only good news we have is that he has to block our Tormentor, but the bad news is that my Tormentor will also die in combat. So, yeah. They did the right thing, I think. Crap. They're also going to gain life in the process. Why did it have to be Archangel of Thune? It's like Kaiga in that other game. Ugh. Opponent has to block if we attack. This becomes a 4/4 if we do. This is dead. And I guess attacking is better. But we're definitely now in not good mode. Yeah. Because, I mean, when he attacks with this, I'll have to block it anyway. So making him do it when he only has one creature in play is a little bit better. And we are going to play our infantry veteran who can keep us alive, but not much else. We're in really bad shape now because our opponent can just keep regenerating this. Basically, no matter what we play, like even if we play another one of those demons, they're all too small to survive combat with this. And it can regenerate. So, oh good, they have Spirit Monger too. Great. Yeah, we're dead. Man, Archangel of Thune? It's not fair. Don't really see much of this being good. I guess Pentarch Ward could be. Yeah, I think we just roll this back out there. My poor Indulgent Tormentor, you know, as strong as he is, most of the time when we've played him, he's like almost won us the game, and then our opponent has played like a mythic or a rare who's just better than him, and it's hurt his feelings. Like we were so close there. Basically all the damage was done by the Tormentor. And then freaking Archangel of Thune came into play. It's not cool. Yeah, I don't really see Duress being good here. I think I'd just rather have Mannequin. I mean, I could bring in Sustainer. It does block Archangel of Thune humorously, but only like once. Death Touch is nice, I guess, but especially if we can pull off some Enoch Bondkin shenanigans. But yeah, I think we're good as is though. So we will play first. Man, we've had mostly good hands, and I think this is another keep, but it is sort of like a borderline one that could go really badly. But we do have a 1-drop. We have a bunch of other stuff too. We just have to draw one land again, and this is a pretty good hand. Not as good as our last one was, which, by the way, we still lost the game. But pretty good still. One infantry veteran in that last game would have made all the difference. Good, we drew a swamp even. That is good. So we're gonna smash for 1, poke for 1, I guess. Smash is a little strong for what it is. We're gonna play swamp. So who do we play? Probably the Aven, because it has the opportunity to get larger. The Rakdos Drake will never be more than what it is. So we're going to attack again. So yeah, I think I'm going with the Aven here. Which will be nice if it gets to +1/+1 counter, and then I can play Merrick Nightblade. I might also just play Sustainer of the Realms, depending on what our opponent does. Topin Freeblade. Well, that's annoying. Alright, well, we're going to get Renowned first, so there. Alright, we're going to do that damage. So do I just play Sustainer? It can actually block this super well. I think we do just play Sustainer. Because it just laughs at Topin Freeblade. Nice. We're in good shape now. Okay. We're gonna attack with both of these. We're gonna pump you. And then I think I play Merrick Nightblade, just because I have the mana to do it right now. It can also block Topin Freeblade, obviously. Okay. Alright, well. Okay. We are attacking with both our flyers again. Pumping again. And then I think what I do is Outlast. Yeah, we'll Outlast. And I'm also going to play Thrill Kill Assassin, and I'm going to unleash it. The reason for all of this is because Abzan Falconer next turn will throw them all up in the air, and then my opponent's like dead, no matter how you look at things, because all my creatures except the Infantry Veteran, who may as well have flying because obviously it can tap and make something bigger. All right, we won game 2 handily thanks to our opponent's Mana Screw and our very good curve out. Mostly their Mana Screw though, right? I mean, yeah, I don't think we change anything. You know, for a deck that has 3 Indulgent Tormentors in it, I feel like it's kind of let us down. I feel like we've cast Merrick Nightblade just as many times. This is... I think I have to mulligan this just because I have to draw all spells. Like, even if I just draw one, yeah, we're just going to mulligan. Okay, well, there are the Indulgent Tormentors waiting for me. Wow. We don't want the third one. We're going to play the early one as just a blocker and then try to just get these Tormentors in play. That is our game plan. Are they actually playing a 1-drop? No. I did say I wanted multiples in play. Maybe I should have gone for the third one. Because that's insane. Once you get multiples in play, it's just like, sorry, man. So yeah, we're going to play this. We are not going to unleash it. We didn't get any of our ramp, which is unfortunate. Especially, well, they're not doing anything either, which I'm cool with. We're going to attack. I think we just play the other one too and don't unleash it either. These will lock down the ground for us in a couple turns when Indulgent Tormentors will begin tormenting things. Emiria Angel. Joy. Okay. I'm going to play Rakdos Drake, and I'm not going to unleash it because it can actually block Emiria Angel's friends. We are going to attack with both of our Thrill Kill Assassins, though. I mean, our opponent's not going to block them. If they do, we're ecstatic. So yeah, we'll play... The bad news is Indulgent Tormentor is going to be a lot worse in a world where opponent's getting a free 1/1 every turn. Still a huge attacker, but... And I will have 2 of them. So, that's pretty good, I guess. Our opponent's deck definitely has like way more powerful cards than ours. The Angels are just insane. If this is an Archangel, God, why? Why? I'm not happy, if you didn't know. These freaking Angels, man, ruining my life. Yeah, you guys are gonna attack, because why the hell not? This isn't good. I need to draw Doomblade or Path to Exile now, or I probably die, because, I don't know. I can block the Archangel, but the other 2 guys are going to get so big. Oh, and now I can't even do that, so never mind. Now it has to be Path to Exile. Great. Great. Great, great. Great. Yeah, all your guys get big now. Must be nice. We need Path to Exile, and we need it now. They definitely should have had that 1/1 flyer in play first. I'm guessing they pay 3. Yeah. Interesting. Well, I don't know why we would do anything other than play another Indulgent Tormentor. See, we're going to get to do the double Indulgent Tormentor, but it's against a board of Archangel of Thune and Emiria Angels, so it's like, who the hell cares, you know? My opponent can gain so much life and make so many creatures that it doesn't really matter. So I think we're going to have to finish 8 and 9 in this format overall. It's looking very likely. Very, very likely. These stupid Death Touch creatures on the ground are so useless right now. Oh, not good. You know, when our most powerful card is just like a really strong uncommon, and you run into Emeria Angel and Archangel of Thune or Kaiga, those things don't feel too good. Neither does that. Awesome. Oh my god. That's not good. Okay. Everybody's getting bigger. Man. This is disappointing. Couldn't we have just played like a deck that didn't have Archangel of Thune in it? If we draw Path to Exile now, I think it's too late. I mean, it definitely increases our chances. But we drew our Mannequin. Awesome. That is awesome. I think we're just dead because of all the flying damage, but let's oh yeah, my opponent can tap something too. We're definitely dead. They can tap 2 somethings actually. So we lost just to straight up more powerful cards. That happens sometimes. Our deck was fun. I mean, I definitely had fun with it. It was fun to play. It did well enough that I don't feel completely disappointed. But 8 and 9 overall in this format doesn't feel too good. But next Monday we'll be doing an Ixalan draft. It would kind of be nice to go back to that, even though that format is fairly predictable at this point. And then on Thursday it'll be a Vintage Masters draft. So I'll see you guys then.